As U.S. unemployment hits 14.7%, how will the coming viral recession affect U.S. veterinary practices? It's not all gloom and doom, but it's still far from sunshine and rainbows. Welcome back to Off-Label Veterinary News, your source for commentary on animals, medicine, and practice life. As of May 8th, 2020, the official U.S. unemployment rate was 14.7%, accounting for over 33 million unemployed Americans. This marks the highest level of workers laid off since the Great Depression of the 1930s. Many economists predict the actual unemployment rate is closer to 20%, citing that nearly 1 in 5 U.S. laborers has already filed for unemployment benefits since April. Seemingly in contradiction, the U.S. stock market continues to maintain near record highs. A strong stock market performance is primarily because investors are looking forward, looking to dispel uncertainty. These latest unemployment reports signal that the U.S. economy is certainly in for an extended period of decreased consumer spending. That certainty is enough to spark investors to bet we'll see additional government stimulus packages and Federal Reserve measures to help speed recovery, at least in the near term. That certainty also is used by these bullish investors to validate their belief that this surge in unemployment is not directly related to poor economic fundamentals, such as we saw back in previous recessions in 99 and 2000, 2008, 2009, and of course the Great Depression. Many are calling this an artificial unemployment crisis, meaning that a force outside the markets caused the current spike in unemployment, in this case, forced businesses to close due to the COVID-19 pandemic. These economists assure us that we simply need to be aggressive with unemployment benefits to keep the economy churning long enough for the pandemic to pass. And then we return to our previous red-hot economy. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. More bearish economists, however, are quick to point out that the U.S. stock market's best years were in 1933 and in 1995, experiencing a 50% growth in those 2 years. Unfortunately, after 1935, we experienced a long slide in which share values declined by 90%, and they didn't return to pre-1929 values for 25 years. Stressed, depressed, lemon zest. So who's right? And how will record unemployment affect pet spending over the next several months? While no one knows for certain, there are some clear trends we can turn to for guidance and help us thrive during this time. A recent survey published by the AVMA found that revenues were down more than 20% for 3/4 of over 300 clinics, with about a third reporting losses of more than 40%. Appointments were down more than 40% in 43% of clinics and 20 to 30% in another third surveyed. 2/3 of the veterinary clinics said they were very or extremely confident that their business would return to normal by June or July. See? Easy peasy. Those of us in the veterinary and pet industries need to be prepared for waves of good and bad economic times over the next 2 years, with various sectors of our industries being affected disproportionately. The winners will be online, and the losers will be legacy business models based solely on in-person transactions and overpriced offerings. Online sales of pet food and supplies will continue to thrive. Chewy is expected to report a growth of 35 to 37% during the first quarter of 2020, with 70% of those sales going to food and treats. During a recent investor call, Chewy executives shared they observed an acceleration in sales beginning in late February, coinciding with the widespread work-from-home measures. There will be a continued shift towards online purchasing of all pet supplies, including pharmaceuticals and food. This means in-clinic and in-store sales will suffer, and expect more companies to decrease their reliance on selling through the traditional veterinary clinic channel. Over the next 6 months, we'll begin seeing more pharmaceutical and food companies offer their products direct to consumer or through strategic acquisitions or alliances with existing online retailers. How long can Zoetis, Boehringer Ingelheim, Merck, or even Mars delay partnering, acquiring, or starting an online DTC channel? I think the market will soon force them to be much more aggressive in these growth opportunities. If your clinic is not already selling products and prescription medications online and offering home delivery, you need to do it now. 3 months later may simply be too late to recover from those losses. In-clinic visits will likely see an increase in the next few weeks as pent-up demand peaks. Once this initial wave of visits subsides, however, expect to see a gradual slowdown in the third quarter. If a second severe outbreak of COVID-19 occurs in the fall, I think the rest of 2020 will be in economic jeopardy, and that jeopardy will continue until we have a fully deployed vaccine. If we don't see a second coronavirus wave and a vaccine is still on schedule for the first quarter of 2021, I believe we'll see real economic recovery in the first half of 2021. Cash-strapped pet owners will seek deals and discounts if unemployment persists more than another few weeks. Annual visits, immunizations, and preventives may take a hit as families are forced to choose between food and heartworm medication. Manufacturer rebates and discounts will likely be needed to keep these pet parents administering preventives over the next several months. It's hard to make up these financial losses. American families will have to make spending cuts somewhere, with discretionary expenses such as dining out, vacations, and preventive pet care some of the first to go. Overall, I think we should expect to see general practice veterinary revenues down at least 10% in 2020. I'd consider that an economic win. Telemedicine, in-home, and increased access to point of care are the most promising growth opportunities for general veterinary practices. Emergency clinics and specialty groups will be largely unaffected during this time. ER visits will likely increase as pet parents delay preventive care and lose contact with general practitioners. Specialty clinics will thrive because higher income earners will be able to afford their services. Pet insurance will also be an essential element of future general veterinary medicine success. The coming direct-to-pet parent in-home diagnostic test boom will also compel veterinarians to shift how we interact with clients and could catalyze in-clinic diagnostic growth if we message and frame it correctly. There will be unimaginable opportunities to innovate and grow during the next couple of years. Times of resource scarcity serve as the best pressure cookers to create amazing new recipes for success. Stay safe and take this chance to reinvent how you practice veterinary medicine. Good luck. Well, that's it for another edition of Off-Label Veterinary News. If you like content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ding the notification bell so you'll be notified as soon as content like this drops on your internet doorstep. Until next time, keep living that off-label life. Bye.